So 2 years inside a Japanese prison, Steve. Is that what
Lovely.
and we're going to talk about?
Yeah.
So what was the prison like? What was the prison called, the first one you went to?
The police station was the first, Narita. The same place that Paul McCartney ended up in around about 1980 or something like that. I was 99 days in there going through the procedure of investigation, sentence, and then you moved on. I mean, it was a long 99 days.
Oh, I bet it was.
I thought that was hell. Little did I know, it was paradise.
That was just the start.
Well, it had heating, and you could talk at the back of the cells, almost like a American style. Like you got, I think there was 9 cells, like a block like that.
Yeah.
I was in cell 1, same one as Paul McCartney, so they said. But you could talk at the back.
Right.
And when you could, at evening you were brushing your teeth, we're outside our cell, and you can have a bit of, where are you from, mate? All that kind of shit. And everybody were in that same, just been caught, most of them from the airport, because it was the airport police station. So there was a bit of banter and a little bit of...
the Brits there, was there?
There was one.
Right, so you could, because I would imagine the other one's language barrier must have been...
Well, when I first spoke to him, I didn't realise that we kind of knew each other. That's a long story, and it's all in the fucking... But basically, when I first met him, I didn't realise that I'd met him before in Pattaya. A lot of the investigation were more bothered about him, and I didn't realise what was going on, because I had his business card in my wallet.
Right.
I didn't realise it was him. We just randomly met round the pool, something similar to this, and I was a private investigator in Pattaya, and we swapped cards, literally over one drink. I was putting cards, sticking things on thingy, on the beer condoms.
Right.
And I was telling him about what I was doing. He said, that's a fucking good idea, that, mate. And that was literally it. Little did I know that he came, was he before me or after me? No, he was before me. It was 3 days before me. He got caught with a shitload of crystal meth.
Right.
He was kind of part of our gang, but I didn't know. But obviously, from imagine the police point of view, we've got 2 people from the same gang, which we don't know, and I've got his card on me. So a lot of all that was all about, and I didn't know what the hell was going on until eventually I said, where you from, mate? He went, South London. He said, well, I actually live in Pattaya. I said, I live in Pattaya. And then I clicked straight away. I thought, right, I know what they're on about now. And but at the same time, it didn't really make a difference other than me, for my story. It was the first time I met a few guys, and I was just going to do this one job, when really that wasn't the case. I'd done it 4 years before to Japan. So that was my big worry, that I didn't want to get that pulled back into what was at the time a relatively, I got caught with 2 kg of cannabis.
Right.
Which isn't brilliant, but I thought I could be looking at maybe 1 year, the worst 2 year in prison. I thought I can handle that. I knew like the risk reward. But when I first met the British Embassy, it said you're looking at 4 to 10 years. I'm like, what?
I bet your heart sunk then.
Oh man.
10 years.
Well, you kind of think of the worst. He said you've been caught at the worst possible time. Some people in the university and some sports people, I think some sumo wrestlers, they've been caught having a crafty joint. So there was like, every now and again they have a big crackdown on cannabis, and they're like, I was right in the middle of a fucking crackdown.
What a nightmare.
Yeah.
But we'll get up to that part, but what we're going to do with so Stephen Beattie, part 1 is BANGED, and part 2, BANGED, which we'll get round to. And has that book just come out, Steve?
They both come out.
Oh, they both come out.
They both come out at the same time on Amazon. The first one's a Smugglers Tale.
Yeah.
Which basically is all the build up and the near misses and the drama and kind of reasoning why you end up doing something so fucking stupid, really.
Yeah.
There was no glamorizing about
Of course,
the thing of what happened. And then the second one is more, there's a clear line divide of what happened in the story. And it's it's a very different prison story. Because I never thought I'd write a prison book, really. Only until I did the first podcast in the lockdown with Sean Atwood.
Right.
As I talked about, people said, you should write a story, you should write the book. Because, like a lot of prison stories, well, there's no like massive drama as in escape, nobody gets beat up, there's no like key things or in a lot of, but as we did it and really got into it, it's a more like a psychological look into prison life and prison behaviour and how we adapt to isolation mainly, because the isolation there is fucking brutal.
So Steve, this is the first for me as well, doing a podcast out here in Thailand.
Yeah.
where I'm now living, but what we'll do is, because obviously this, like I've said, with this being a first as well, I've never had a chance myself to look into your story, so this is all new to me as well. So
I think it's better when it's fresh.
It is. I'm very interested to pick your brains about a few things, obviously with the Japanese prison. But whereabouts in the UK were you born and where you're from?
Born in Southport, moved to Blackburn when I was 10 into a pub. I'm from a cracking family. I have no...
So you had a good upbringing, good childhood.
The classic, we had nothing, but we had a really good family.
Yeah,
Mum and Dad was superb. No, there are no none of that.
Yeah.
Thank God, yeah.
So when did you ever start getting into trouble back in the UK? Was there any other bother growing up, or...?
Just fighting, the normal shit.
Just what kids do and that.
Yeah, 18 to 21. I loved a good scrap in the pub, like we all do. But there was nothing like crazy. In fact, I got to the point where, like, the final, it was very close to me getting sent down for the last fight in the pub. And that, I remember being in the, waiting to go in the court. I said to the solicitor that comes in, I said, how much fine do you think I'll get? He said, you'd be lucky if you get a fine, if I'm honest. And my arse absolutely
thinking that you weren't going to
jail. It absolutely went to that point. I went, what? I mean, I've done a few nights in the cells, like, pissed up and all that kind of shit. And that was enough for me. I thought, I would not like to do any form of a sentence. But really, then one night's in the cells are probably as worse as it gets. Oh, it's fucking horrendous, isn't it?
Well, the prison cells, the police station cells.
Yeah, you're waking up hungover, you can't get a fight, you can't get anything. You'll get it's all right. Yeah.
So, how did you end up in Thailand? And what age did you come over into Thailand?
I was young. I was only 25 when I first came. Yeah, I actually came with my brother. We went from here to the Philippines. He met his wife. And my brother just died only a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago.
All right, sorry to hear that.
No, it's all right. It's he was 74. It weren't like and she was brilliant all the way through. But from then till now, they've been together all the way through it. So it can happen.
Yeah, of course.
she was brilliant. The Filipino family, they're brilliant. But really, after that, I went back home, settled down, got into real normal life, went through a normal relationship. That went tits up. So around about just 2000, 2001, I ended up coming back out here. And
did you come here to live then, or was it?
No, just holiday. Just the classic holiday.
Yeah.
So I'm like early 30s then. Still relatively young back then.
Yeah,
nowadays there's quite a lot of young people. Back then, you were in your early 30s. You were quite young. Instead of all the old pervs and that. you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. So, our kind of gang or group of mates, we were the young boys, and he just buzzed off there. And do you know, like when you got shit going off back home? When I would come out here, it was like it didn't.
You forget about everything, don't you?
It was best. I've never really done. Well, I've never done drugs. I've had a little sample of it when I was. I just know it doesn't work for me. But here was like finding it was like a drug. It was like an addiction, and I just always wanted to come back, and because as soon as I got home, there was always one drama or the other.
And did you always go to the same place? Was it Pattaya?
No, not really.
No.
I guess I settled there, but I went to Samui, Phuket, Chiang Mai.
Yeah, of course.
Travelled around, but I think like my friend base was Pattaya.
But just for the viewers back home here, Pattaya is probably the number one spot for Thailand, the party place, isn't it?
Yeah, the party place.
It's when I say a number one spot, I mean as in people coming here
the
to drink and party. Yes, that's it.
It's that.
It's not the number one spot for coming here to live. It's obviously probably one of the worst to live, unless you're not in that
I've got
scene.
a love-hate relationship with it. Every time I leave there, I think I'm never going back there because I'm sick of the bar girls and the bar scene, and I'm trying to lay off the beer a bit. I mean, I do like a drink every now and again, but
once you get there, you kind of stop, can't you?
Exactly, yeah. So you just have to avoid it. But at the time back then, fucking hell, it was absolutely mental. It just felt right at the time. Just doing all the obvious. I mean, we went to excess in everywhere, and we were flying business class all the time because we had friends that could, if you know what I mean, like dodgy credit card. It was not dodgy credit cards actually, but an internet hacker.
Right.
But all them days are well gone. But it was just fucking madness.
But you felt like you were in a movie, did you?
Yeah,
business class.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous. At one point, we used to smuggle cigarettes. I had a good job back in the UK. I was doing some stonework, and it was really good money. But we only had like 2 days work, so I would fly to Thailand on a Thursday, go for the weekend, pick a shitload of fags up, and come back on the Monday. And then do a couple of days laying stones. The scaffolders said that you can't be doing that. I had to bring my passport in this. I said, fucking hell. Flying every weekend to Thailand.
Every weekend.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Must be doing all right with them tabs, were?
Oh yeah. Do you know what? That's one of the best easy because the risk reward, you get pretty good money, and you got a slap on the wrist. In fact, they just took the fags off. I think I got caught 5 times before they said to me, you will be going to prison if you get caught again. So that's me,
And was that on this side or the other side?
The other side.
Right.
It was Newcastle actually we used to do it from. For some reason the flights were Newcastle. It was crazy. In Newcastle, Copenhagen. We were in Copenhagen for 8 hours in the business lounge. Me and my 2 mates used to play poker for brasses over the weekend, and then we'll be. It's insane. It was one of them things where people hardly believe, but we did it.
And then when you started doing things from Thailand into Japan,
no, it wasn't Thailand. It was initially Nepal, Kathmandu. That's where it was the chocolate, the brown, where they burn it, and you remember the brown?
Oh,
they still do it, don't they? It was that stuff.
That's what we used to call it tack.
Tack, yeah.
Other people call it wood. Is it the solid?
Solid, yeah. I think they used to call it solid. I had a couple of goes at solid when I was a kid, and it didn't agree with me. But I do kind of like the smell of it more than the.
Got a strong smell, hasn't it? It's different smell, isn't it?
It's a different. It's not something you smell that much nowadays. You smell the weed everywhere, don't you? Which I can't stand the smell of weed.
It's not as popular, is it? I think, when I was growing up, I was smoking it from the age of 11.
Yeah.
And we're talking like 25, 30 years ago, nearly.
Yeah.
And that was very popular then. You'd never really heard of the skunk or the weed.
Right. How old are you, Ricky?
40.
You're 40, I'm 56, yeah. Me growing up in the 80s, there was no drugs at all. Well, we sniffed glue, gas, and cider. that was our high. The thought of any cocaine was in the movies. It was only literally from round about leaving school when the E's started all popping out and all that generation. And I kind of had a really bad experience with magic mushrooms. And when I had that was me done with drugs for a lifetime.
The horrible them things
I tried to have a go at cannabis, and that brought the bad trip back.
Yeah.
So once I did that, I went, nah.
That's enough.
Yeah, and so
it's probably been a good thing that
I used to go to all the raves and that, but I was probably the only person on the beer. But I didn't, because the experience was so bad, where people are saying to me, I'll have one of these days, they're fucking, I can see all the birds. I don't risk it was good, my experience was that bad. Same with Coke, I've never done Coke. And you know what it's like nowadays, it's very available. When I go out, I mean, vast majority of my mates, I have to repeat it a million times. You know I don't do it, I've never done it. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot.
Well, to be honest with you, that bad experience has probably been a blessing in disguise.
Exactly, I've always seen that. Because to be honest, I was the first and daftest to do the fucking lot. Well, you know, when it was like, let's get on the glue and let's get on the gas, and same with the mushrooms. I was like, oh, wait. I heard about it. It sounded fantastic. You take these mushrooms and it makes you laugh your head off. It's the funny. I thought it sounded fucking brilliant. I took them. I swear to God, it was like walking into hell. It really was. But I mean,
I can understand where you come from, because I had the same experience when I was about 14, 15. Yeah. Same thing happened to me.
I had to go and get my brain scanned in Whittingham Hospital in Preston. I had to tell my mum and dad in the end. I mean, my mum and dad hadn't got a clue, and even my sisters. I'm the youngest of 6. Nobody knew even what mushrooms were. They were like, you know, I was 14. Well, I took some mushrooms. They're going, what? Honestly, when I looked at my mum, she was like, the devil. And they were like, I didn't open my eyes for a week, because it just came back and I just couldn't get out of it. And literally to this day I can still trip out. It's pretty, it's severe.
Bit PTSD of it.
I can handle it now. For years I can handle it. But yeah, I learned my lesson. But for other people, I know many people that absolutely love it.
Yeah.
The thing is about drugs, you've got to know your limits. You've got to know about it. It's all about education. Any form of drugs. Alcohol's probably the worst of the fucking lot. It really is. But it's totally accepted that we can drink and make a twat of ourselves, and then as you know, Ricky.
well know about that.
No, yeah. But you know what I'm saying, probably the worst drug of all is the most accepted of all.
Well, it brings out the devil inside of you as well, doesn't it?
It's all about education. I really think all drugs should be legal, and just educate people more.
I agree with that. I agree with the education part of it as well. Like fucking, if more people knew about it and the side effects, and like you say, the tolerance, different things like that. But so you said it was from Nepal, then? Did you come back to Thailand and then go to Nepal? Tell us how that happened.
No. It was from Nepal the first time.
But how did you end up in Nepal? Did you have friends there? Was it?
No, it was through like contacts in Pattaya,
right?
Through Iranians. We've got some like Iranian mates. The Iranians are bloody good people, They're really good. Yeah. I know there's a lot of bad press about them. You'd think they're the bad guys and all that, but actual real Iranian peoples are a good crack. They're a good. And obviously, I'm talking about, I guess, the gangster side to it.
Yeah.
Ish, but people that they were always sound. There was no like pressure. There was no like, oh, you got to do this and you got to. They're just normal people that kind of did that kind of thing, and they always looked after me. It was so anyway. So meeting the Iranians, they had the connections with Nepal, and through that. I don't know if you've seen the programme Banged Up Abroad. I did an episode of that.
Oh, right, I've seen that.
That was last year. I did that last year.
Did you?
And it shows it was bullshit, really, that episode. But not the episode, the bit in Nepal where I get the guns up on me and all that, because I'm in the... It was similar, but it was...
They dramatised it.
They dramatised. That was the only bit that was really dramatised. I knew they was going to do it. But basically... It was dodgy going out of Nepal because there was a coup on when I did it, and you got searched everywhere. Midnight Express, how we got caught getting on the plane.
In Turkey, wasn't
it? Because they were looking for terrorism. It was like that. So we were getting searched like fucking. It was like, oh my, it was pretty. Everywhere staged. at the bottom of the plane, at the top of the plane, you were getting searched. So after that, they went, no more taking it out of Nepal. So
What was it you had then?
just cannabis. It was all, I only ever did cannabis. So after that experience, they used to smuggle the drugs down to India. So it was easier to get out. So the rest of the ones I did were from India.
Right.
And eventually, which was like 4 years later after the first time. I mean, so I got away with it the first time, and I swore I would never do it again. It was like, fuck it. Honestly, it was like, job done, but that's an experience.
So was the reward big enough, or was it?
No.
Just needed a bit of money.
Yeah, I just needed that. But at that point, my mates had been doing it for maybe 2 years at that point, but I did it and I go with it, got away with it. I thought, fuck that. You know, I got it. And so then a good few years later, I had a water skiing accident. And I trapped a nerve in my neck, or like the muscle had gone, and it was pretty bad. I went working in Australia, bricklaying, and all my muscles had gone. I was pretty fucked. I thought, right, I'm going to have to go home, and that's me, folks. But I always knew I had this option, because nobody had been caught at this point. And really, I just thought, fuck yeah, I'm going to
give it a go.
And so I started going, I went to like London, Copenhagen, Amsterdam, London, and then I just thought, I can't keep doing this, it's going to get caught. And Japan was always the bigger money earner. I actually started a private investigation business in Pattaya. That was the idea of it. But I thought, let's do one last job.
No, that one last one, it's always the same.
The one last job. So I did that, and I got fucking caught.
Oh, bastard.
But I got caught through like an internal thing, through basically one of our English side of the gang was fucking over the Iranians. We had words, but that is basically the London guy, my friend sent him behind the Iranians' backs. When he got caught 3 days later, I got fucking caught. That's how it happened.
And what happened then? So did you get off the plane?
No, I went from Mumbai, Cathay Pacific, Hong Kong. It was a late flight, and the bags didn't turn up, which at the time I thought it was good, but basically the bags were going to come to the hotel the day after.
Right.
They already told everybody. I think there were like 5 of us on the plane. You know, when you get your name called out on the plane, you go, fuck me. Yeah, shit. But it kind of. So they mentioned about 5 people. They said, don't worry, but the bags haven't made it to Narita, but fill the form in and I've had it happen in Thailand before, and the bags come the day after. So that is. But it didn't work because they knew I was coming.
So where was the bag actually from, then?
From India, from Nepal, smuggled down to Mumbai. I've been on my jollies down in Goa for a couple of weeks. We were quite good with the story. When I used to do it, I said, listen, I'm going on holiday. When I do it, because a lot of my mates were going Thailand, Mumbai or Delhi, pick the bags up, get on the plane, go there, come back. They didn't give a fuck. The story was terrible. Them fuckers never got caught. I used to really, put a bit of work into it and make sure I'd go like the Taj Mahal, or I'd go like, I went whitewater rafting in the Himalayas. I went, got a plane around the Himalayas. I'd make sure he had a real story. It obviously didn't work, but in some ways it did work for getting through a custom.
So the next day, then what happened then?
The next what, sorry?
The next day, when you were waiting for your bags?
Yeah, it's got a long story short. When I picked the bags up, I went down the lift. Fucking lift doors opened. There was 3 officers come out of nowhere when I picked the bags up. I knew I was fucked at that point. All the press come, and one guy's grabbed hold of my wrist, and he used to even Beattie. Yeah, is that your bag? Yeah. What is in your bag? I said my clothes and 2 kg of cannabis. They were like, how do you know? I said, well, That's what I was told. Anyway, and then they took about an hour's ripping it off open, and honestly, I was twitchy at that point. So a lot of my mates would smuggle it and nick a bit out and have a few, like, so I knew what it was.
Yeah.
But also I knew another side to it, they were smuggling crystal meth.
Without telling you? Without telling them?
No, none of that.
Oh, right.
No,
Got
zero.
you.
There was none of that. Now I say that, but when they start saying, how do you know? Because I know they must have tested it. You start to think,
what is it?
oh, fuck me. Please don't tell me. It's been some kind of a switch. Because the way they were talking, but it was like, no, it's not what you think it is. So you're thinking, I'm thinking I'm going from a 1 to 2 sentence to a 10-year sentence at this point. Trust me, my arse left the fucking. And so I've also, you've got the cameras and the press, and I'm thinking, even though it wasn't, this is going to be back home on like Granada Report. So,
yeah.
you know, they look northwest, like the Stephen Beattie has been arrested. They never did it. I could never find the footage from it. I would love to see my face. I'd love to, watch it.
See what colour you are. See how white you've got.
I mean, I wasn't trying to be cool or big and clever, but I just played it out because I was thinking, oh my God, my sisters are going to be watching this. They're going to be thinking, what the hell have you done? Because you know, nobody would expect me to. I had a plan that if I get caught and I got 1 year away, I was going to say I'd been to a monastery. I was a monk for a year.
Yeah.
That would actually be more believable, than I was arrested in Japan.
So what happened after that?
Well, so I went to the police station. When you get sentenced, like the first sentence was 7 years. 7 years and blah blah blah. I think 4 million yen fine, which was like, fuck me. But I knew after I'd go back in 2 weeks and it'd be lowered. So in that 3 month period.
So they give you 7?
So it's a strange procedure. Because I was there for 3 months, you've seen a lot of people what was happening.
Yeah.
So literally every day somebody was coming back. You know, what did you get? Or the first one was 14 year. They go back 2 weeks later, it's 10 year. Most of them was something like that. Because there wasn't many on my level of a lot lower really. There was one actually Thai guy, a Manas, I can't remember his name. He got, he only had a real little bit, but I think his first sentence was like 4 years, and I think he got 2.5 years eventually. So you were trying to judge what was going to happen. But yeah, but eventually I was...
So from your time of arrest up until sentencing, how long did that take? Was it a quick procedure or was it?
No, well, 3 months. I was 99 days in that cell.
Until you got sentenced?
I was 2 weeks before I moved to Chiba, which is the detention centre. Now, what we heard about Chiba sounded fucking superb. They've got so in Narita, it's warm. You don't even think about it being cold because you just presume it's just normal. But so we were told Chiba was a shared cell with a TV in it. The food's supposed to be really good, and then you wait there until you go to. It's like a period of you can. What's it called? Where you can. You know, say you've got 5 years. You've got, I think it was 20 days for you to appeal it.
Right. Yeah.
So that was the appeal place. We knew there was no point in appeal. The embassy had said, whatever you do not appeal it because what you've got is what you've got. And if you appeal it, say if you could take 6 months and you won't get it, and that 6 months is a completely wasted 6 months.
And you have to start your time
so
again.
Yeah, you knew that. So anyway, I went to Chiba here, and it was, oh my God, that was next level, like shock to the system.
Oh, so it wasn't nothing like what you thought it was.
No, I got the first night I got put into a single cell. It's icy fucking cold. So this was like I got sentenced on 28th of January. So you're right in the middle of winter. And now when I say cold, I think it was around about 2 degrees or something like that, which is like cold, but not like icy cold. But when you get put in a concrete cell with no heating, I've never known fucking cold like it. I mean, I've done ice baths, it doesn't feel as cold as that. Because it's like prolonged and there's no escape from it. and it's complete silence. I don't know about the silence and the cold. It all works together.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird and eerie. And I'm just thinking it was like a mouldy bit of a cell. And I just thinking, what the fuck am I? What happened to all this TV? And it was a bit of a shock to the system. I moved from that cell to one upstairs in like a newer block, so the cell was more clean. It's very clean, Japan.
Is it?
So it's clean. It's almost like a hospital clean. You've got to, but it's eerie. It's like a mental institution more than a fucking prison. It's the silence, and you can't just ask questions like, "Excuse me, hey, damn it." You know, you're there in this little. It's like fist to fist, and so you've got to sit legs crossed on a little fucking square mat thing.
Put in your cell.
In the cell, yeah. There's a table, your little mat, a toilet behind you with a little wooden thing to back cover. There's a quite big window at the back, but in Chiba it was blocked out, so you couldn't see anything. But the kind of light came in. But there's a lot of like when you're sat there going, what the fuck is going on here? And it just takes you back of like you're trying to like people going past it. Excuse me, like damn it. I just want to know, damn it. Oh fuck me.
So did the guards ever beat people there?
No, they don't need to.
Right.
Now there was something happened where they shoved a fire extinguisher up some guy's arse and killed him.
Fucking hell.
Again, it wasn't the news. I don't know if that's true. Because nobody fucked with the system. It was unfuckable. If you're causing drama or whatever, this was different because I'm not in the real prison. But once you're in the real prison, if you were to like make a mistake and it's very small the mistakes that you make, you end up in, it's called shobash. You've got to sit there for the start, it's a month. You've got to sit on the floor like that, legs either underneath or one or the other, but you can't slouch, you can't do anything. For a full, solid 8 hours, all day, do nothing, but just contemplate and think about what you've done wrong. This is what they're telling you. That's for a month.
And if you were torture that, trying to sit upright like that, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Do you know what? After about 6 months of me being in there, I can still get quite comfy sitting now. So you kind of get used to it. When the first I had a sensei, a teacher, he explained this to me in Narita, and we're going, what? I'm like, slouching away in Narita. That's what I mean. That's why I didn't realise it was so easy. You're chatting away, and it was just bored. Not boring, because your head's that fucked full of worry. For long periods of isolation, boredom isn't one thing. That's what I thought about. I was never really bored because your head's that fucking busy. You're permanently trying to encourage yourself or be positive in a situation. So boredom doesn't really. Like just saying it sounds weird. How can you not be bored? But it's not. The emotions are all over the fucking place. But the thought of going into punishment, it's always hanging around. So everybody is just on the fucking ball. It's very military. You're marching everywhere. You're counted everywhere. That's why. I mean, I thought if I ever write a fucking book, I'm going to call it Bango, because that's all I heard. Bango!
Oh, right, so that's where the name came from.
We're called FQ.
So what's Bango mean then?
Bango's number.
Oh, right, yeah.
Do you know what? Do you know what your English prison number is? Does that stay with you?
It stays with us,
Yeah. See, I haven't got a clue what mine was, but I'll never forget mine. It's Yongsen Sambiaku Nijiwachiban, which is a right godful. And I nearly got sent to punishment because I couldn't remember that fucker. But I haven't got a clue what the English one was. Maybe because that was so like dominant in the brain and the memory. Once I got it, I thought, I'm never going to forget it. Yeah, you were numbered in the morning, in the evening. eventually you go into the factory and you were lined up to go to the toilet, you were lined up to go this and that, and it was everything, bango, 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 because they did it to everyone, bango, bango, but you did your own
you had
number.
to shout your number back.
Yeah, it was so much control, it was unreal.
Oh.
And it was like, when I look back, and compared to being in the English system, many ways I think they've got it right. As severe as it was, I think for rehabilitation, and the point of the thing is, it's not just punishment, because obviously it sounds fucking ridiculous, but we all fuck up in life, and sometimes, and criminals are criminals, and there needs to be a place for us to get a shit together.
Yeah.
And I think that is kind of how to do it, because there's no control. Control is completely gone in the English system.
Yeah.
It totally doesn't work. The American system doesn't fucking work.
Oh, it's even worse now. It's absolutely fucking...
But, like for us as criminals, of course we don't want to be treated like that. But also, you can get your shit together. There is no alcohol, cigarette. There is absolutely fuck all. You get your meal 3 times a day, and once you've got it, you get from 6 o'clock till 9 o'clock, you can read and draw and write. There's no phone calls, there's none of that. But it can really give yourself a chance to realise how you fucked up in life to end up in that situation. And I think the world needs some of that. And you need to, it needs to be a bit extreme for you to really get it. I don't think you don't need 2 years of it. 3 months of it would fucking sort anybody out.
When you're mentioning like the English system, you didn't mention that earlier on when we were talking about, did you do time in the English prison?
Yeah. I went straight to Wandsworth. And
what age was this in?
What?
What age was that when you went?
No, I got transferred from Japan
right.
to Wandsworth.
Oh, got you. I thought you were on about before.
No, and I've never been to prison before.
I was just thinking when you went about the English system, I thought you meant...
There were 2 screws coming and pick me up. They were really sound. And it was like a 10-hour flight. I was fucking buzzing to get out of there. And so I was going into Wandsworth. Never been in prison before. Seen Mick Vicker and all that, the movies. So I kind of guessed what it was going to be like. And I've kind of gone in there like probably something similar to what I now, quite unhealthy fucking Brit. I came out, I was 11.5 stone. It probably looked like a baghead, but I was super fit. Like my body was like, and I had a fucking fist for a fight, I'll tell you that, mate. Like being all that, I was like, I thought, I'm going to go into London. Probably being a northerner, you're going into a London thing. I just thought, somebody's going to fucking have it, mate. I expected whatever was going to go on, but the screw said to me, get your head down, you get your cat D within a couple of months. And I'm going, well, what's this cat D? Because they didn't fully know. So it's an open prison. Just avoid any shit, and you'll get an open prison. I'm thinking, right. I had a long time to rethink on the plane, because for months ahead, I was kind of thinking, I'm going to be fucking kicking off when I get to Wandsworth. I was laughing and joking. When we could speak to other foreigners there, they were saying, what do you think England's going to be like? I said, it's going to be fucking nuts. I said, presumably it will be. I said, but honestly, I said, I'll take no shit. I know, I don't fully know how it works, but I just know you can't be a pushover in the system.
Got to stand up for yourself.
Yeah, so I kind of presumed it was going to be all that. So when they told me this, they were like, all right, I'm going to have to change your mind. So I thought, right, just keep my head down. And, I wasn't after trouble. I wasn't going to... It weren't like scum I was going to go,
of course,
where's your fucking tool? None of that
you were prepared for someone to fuck
I was just prepared for what I presumed was going to be, whatever. And
so we'll just go back, we'll come back to that, but how did that work then? How long did you spend in the Japanese prison, the Chiba?
Oh, Chiba I did 6 weeks solitary in there, and then the rest of it was in Fuchu.
Right, is that the one that you've just been speaking about?
No, the Fuchu's the main prison, the big one just south of Tokyo.
Right.
You can just
before we come back onto Wandsworth, we'll talk about that. When you got transferred to Fuchu, and then when your sentence was reduced, And how long did you actually spend over there?
600. Oh my, and 30 days.
Right.
Or was it 80 days? Just under 2 years,
Just
whatever
under 2
that
years.
is.
Aye.
Yeah, I got arrested on, people can do the math, 28th of October 2008. The 20th of June 2010, the day they landed on the moon.
Right. I fucking hell.
You know, a few memories like it's like what's the date today? I think it's close to the anniversary of when I got arrested.
It's 27th of October. The
So it's tomorrow is the anniversary.
Is this fucking hell? How mad's that?
Yeah. And the day I actually got fully released is when Amy Winehouse died.
Right.
So I think it was 3 years, 7 months. But the last year was in the open prison in Kirkham.
So what was your overall sentencing?
3 years, 7 months I served.
That's what, right.
Yeah.
But when you went back to the court after the 7 year, or did you stick with that?
No, it was 5 years, 100 days, and 1 million yen fine.
Right. And how much is 1 million yen in British?
I think it's about 4 grand.
Is it?
Yeah, which you worked off in the factory. You worked it off. It was all.
And was your reward round about that, what you were going to be getting for taking it?
I think it was about 10 grand I was going to get.
Did you get it?
Did I?
No.
They did.
So you ended up being out of pocket?
Yeah, I was out of pocket. But to be fair, I mean, when I was in Kirkham, when I first started getting my own leaves, I had a word with my Iranian friends. I said, I can get you a couple of £1,000, but you've got to go to Scotland. So about my third home leave, I went to Edinburgh and they picked up 2 grand in Scottish money from a Nepali in a shopping mall. I was absolutely shitting it. I'm thinking, fucking hell, do I ever learn? But I think at the end of the day, I'm only picking money up, but it's obviously dodgy money. And anyway, do you know what I mean? After I'm close to getting out. I'm thinking, can I get fucked for this or what? Because I'm sure I would have done. But you know, he said, do you ever learn? Well, I wouldn't have picked 2 grand up, so maybe not.
So when you went to Fuchu, what was that like? Is that how you pronounce it? Is it Fuchu?
Fuchu. They have a weird pronunciation of things.
Did you ever did your accent change when you were trying to pronounce things over there?
I think so, yeah. I do notice that, you know, like we're 8 swearers, aren't English. When I was speaking to other people, they said, you swear a lot. I said, do I? Yeah, everything's this fucking this and fuck about. You know we do, don't we? I think other foreigners notice that a bit more. The Japanese are quite fascinated with the English. They love the Beatles and Gary Lineker that's what surprised me with fucking Gary Lineker. I get the Beatles, but almost I'd say 50% of them say, I said, I'm from England, and they went, oh, Gary Lineker. How did they all know Gary Lineker? But he played football for them.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he had a big moment of being a Japanese superstar. Gary fucking Lineker.
So they're all remember him,
Yeah, so the most of the time was in Fuchu. And at the time, it was a version of hell what I was going through, but you slowly adapt to it. It's amazing how you adapt. I got back into my drawing, I got back into my artwork. I really enjoyed reading and writing. You got a lot of time by yourself.
You become very creative in prison, don't you? Like you've just said, I've done the similar.
Massively. You do things that you never thought you would do. My dad started getting into artwork when he was fucking retired. He didn't know until he was 65 that he was good at art. I was lucky that I remembered. Now I'm like 40 at this point. I was good at art when I was a kid, but next man, I'm a bricklayer the rest of my life, and I'm doing nothing. So there were a lot of good things that come from it, and you have to search for them good things, and that's what's good about the Japanese system. It's way easier to find what you enjoy in life and how you fucked up in life for you to end up in like the situations that we all end up in.
Of course, right. Yeah. But it's good, like you say, you become creative once you're in them places because you've got nothing else to do, have you?
There's a lot of now, and I got into yoga and stretching and calisthenics type thing, because there was no...
Was there any gyms?
No gym. There was a gym, but
Did they make you do
no
exercises or
weights.
anything like that? Or was
No, I wouldn't say make you do it. No, they didn't make you do it. But the Japanese way is really good.
Was there a lot of them training over there? They were like on the yard doing the exercises, bodybuilding exercises and stuff
everybody.
like.
You had, if you were in the cell, it came on once a day for about 20 minutes. The TV came on.
Right.
They did have a TV, but it only came on when it was very, very rare. You would get like a movie on a Saturday. This is that correct. After, if you were good for over a year, you changed the badge to a different colour, and then you could have another movie on a Sunday. Right. So you got to watch 2 movies a year, and you went from getting sending 3 letters to 5 letters.
Right.
But you had to be good for that full year. And then if you, by the 3rd year, you went to the final badge, and I remember thinking, please do not let me get that final fucking badge, because it means something's gone wrong if I've been there for that time.
What were the movies like? Were there any?
No, they were good. They were like the normal movies that were out at the time.
So did they just have obviously for the Japanese, it must have had
for the Japanese
subtitles?
They have subtitles, even the Japanese things. Everything's subtitles. I learned to read and write Japanese, so it was really handy for learning it.
The writing is that like, so it's a lot of lines, isn't it? Or
Do you know what? It's the language for me, because of my kind of artistic kind of brain. It's pictorial. So they use the kanji, the Chinese symbols, which is like 9,000 of them.
Right.
And then they use a Japanese alphabet that mixes in the middle, that explains things more. Because the Japanese system is it's like English. We talk a lot of bollocks, really. You know, we say more, the ties, it's a lot more simple, more straight to the point.
Speak slower, don't they? And just like...
Say like, excuse me, can I go to the toilet? The ties will just go, toilet. And you know exactly what they... So it's more like that. So the Japanese are a bit more complicated that way. But the thing is with the symbols, it's a little story of what a word means. I'll give you an example for big. It's a matchstick man. It's going like that. And the story is, I've caught a big fish. Big, look at me, I'm a big... So when you know that little story, it's easy to remember what big is. So you're not remembering a word, you're not remembering all this and that. You just see a symbol for big. And in some ways, my brain worked it way easier. Because I guess I've got a form of dyslexia and nothing bad, I can read and write. Yeah. But it's always been a bit of a struggle. Whereas when all that was explained to me, I thought, all right, I get it. I mean, it seems fucking weird that I get Chinese more than English.
I fucking hell.
Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it?
Did you manage to pick the language up then?
Yeah.
So can you speak fluent and?
No, I wasn't fluent. I got to a 5-year-old stage where I knew the first like 500 Chinese symbols, kanji, and I knew hiragana and katakana. I was fluent in them too. So I was at a kid's stage.
Yeah, but you could communicate and everything,
Yes and no. There was no communication anywhere. It wasn't like, I can suddenly speak Japanese. And nobody was allowed to talk.
Right.
Only at small periods of time. I met a Japanese guy.
I bet you made some good friends over there as well, did you?
Made some.
Because in prison, everyone who's been to prison, you always make fucking friends and you become lifelong friends, don't you?
Yeah, but I've only got one friend that I'm still in contact with, not through any other reason. We just lost contact. Yeah. Because this was like the days before the Facebook and all that shit. But we got back in touch through Facebook. My Cameroon mate, a French Cameroon English guy. Like we got arrested on the same time. His story is unreal, but he won't tell it. He'll never tell it. But it's one hell of a story. But he was such a lovely guy, and luckily we both ended up in the same prison near Jusan 23. Eventually, he got a 10-year sentence. He tried to protest it, whatever it is, and
like appeal it.
He tried to appeal it, and I told him whatever you do, don't blah blah blah. He wasted I think 10 months in Chiba. Completely, because he was just gutted, like. But you know, it's a weird one with the drug smuggling world. All the people I met in there, they're probably the most normal criminals you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
The kind of people that are lost their way, lost their track, and they just end up doing the most stupidest fucking thing. You know, smuggling. There's a young guy just got caught in Bangkok, 23,
I've seen that.
9 kg of crystal meth.
Crystal meth,
You
aye.
just think, what the fuck is going on in your head to do that? But having done it and lived in that world, I can relate to the.
Because getting caught with someone like that's a lot different to getting caught with weed, and it's like fucking hell.
Yeah, it's
get a big old sentence for that
a
one,
lot
yeah.
different. But I do know mates that were smuggling the meth as well. And you never judge people until you really walked in their shoes, and it just seems so obvious not to do it. But when you end up in a circle and you go in a downward path, and again through alcohol, a lot of it.
Oh, it's
is
got a
why
lot to
you
answer
know,
for, hasn't it?
Well, it's got a lot to answer for, really has. I could do your beer now, that bro.
So in that, was there any sort of like violent criminals, murderers in them
The
prisons?
90% Yakuza, nobody can do fuck all, because you're all in that same boat of going to punishment, which is severe. So everybody's trying the best to not go to punishment.
Well, you mixed in with murderers and that as well, though.
Everybody's in together. And like I say, you know, it's a big thing in it back in the UK where can we say the word, you just fucking say it a lot, don't you? You know, bacons and nonsense.
The nonsense, aye.
You don't fully know who's done what in there.
Right.
But they are, and it's not like a thing where people would say, "What Jimmy's fucking wrong on him." It's not even a thing.
Oh.
You just can't accept that you're all in the same boat. Yeah, no, it never even.
So obviously, I would imagine the murderers over in there, they'd be doing like life sentences as well, are they?
Yeah. So there was one fucker called Kato. He'd murdered a young girl. We knew about that. I think it was a bit of a famous case. I think he tortured her, and he was only young himself, but he was. I say he had Ken, the American guy, said to me, he said, "That fucker's got blood on his hands." You could see that he was never getting out. I think he just avoided the hanging because they still hang him.
Did they?
So I think he just avoided that, maybe because it was. I don't know why, but my God, you know, to this day, I have great pleasure knowing that fucker
Still there.
is in Fuchu, you know, for the rest of his life. And I think that's somewhat as well. Say somebody commits a crime against you or against your family, you know they're in the English system or whatever. You know they're fucking tossing it off, mostly.
Oh.
If you know they're in Chiba or Fuchu and that kind of system, it give you a bit of comfort knowing that they are paying for it. And not only paying for it, that but the idea is like you come out as a better person. I would say about that system, it's far from perfect. I think you need to get more education, your heating. It's far from perfect, but the point of us or criminals and the whole system, it's you've got to pay for it, but you've got to learn from it as well, haven't you? We don't want, we all want to be good people, don't we?
So do you think, like what you're trying to see as well, the reoffending rate will probably be quite low because people are not want to go?
Certainly with foreigners.
Aye.
You won't get, I think it's extremely rare, you'll get a foreigner going back in there.
Aye.
It's probably...
That'd be pretty dumb, wouldn't
For
it?
the Japanese themselves, it's probably a bit easier in some ways because they're used to that way of life. They do live and work in that kind of way. I mean, I'm sure if anybody reads the book, and I don't want to go more about the book, but I don't want to put people off going to Japan. It's a fantastic country and cracking people. They've got a good sense of humour, and they like a good beer in a good way.
So does the book tell your full story, like what we're talking about now?
It tells, it goes into a lot more.
Yeah.
But it's quite humorous. I did it all in a humorous kind of way. I had to see how ridiculous it is. I never, sat there thinking, am I really in a Japanese fucking prison? It was almost like comical. But I did my best. I mean, trust me, it's dark in places. It was pretty dark. I mean, at one point I got put in like a loony asylum area. I was in there for 3 weeks. He said that's all in there. It was a kind of a mix-up. But when I was there, I just thought it's happened. I've lost. I've really. I thought I'd gone mental, and yeah, fucking,
I can tell by looking at you, it wasn't very pleasant.
It was probably the worst experience of my life. You know, to think that you've
Some
actually
real lunatics are.
No, you're not. You're still in the single cell.
Oh, right. So
you can hear.
You can hear them out.
When I actually got first put in there, I thought, why have they put me in here? I'd moved. It's a long story, but basically I got put into a cell. I thought, why have they put me here? And when BANGED came, they're going along. So when BANGED to each cell, I'm thinking, what the fuck are they saying? But weird noises. I thought, what the fuck? Where the fuck am I? And then, so you don't see anybody. Then eventually, the day after, you got let out in a dog pen. It's like a circle with like you've got the Tanto screw. He's up there, and you go in these little walkways. You walk up and down. Do you know like a Trivial Pursuit, the cheese thing like that?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. You can see it on Google Earth what it's like. But as we eventually got out, and I looked at everybody, they're all. I thought it was like somebody at a thriller. I thought, where the fuck have they put me? Anyway, but that went on and on and on for days, and I said, why am I here? And you're not getting no answer, no nothing. And eventually, I think after about a week, I'd lost track of a full day. I think I was kind of losing the plot myself at this point.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, have I gone mental? Is that why they put me in here? I thought it was because of Chiba. And another bit of a drama happened because I had to go back into another guy's sentence, and I thought, if they fuck with me, if they just put me in here for what I said in court, because I kind of tried to help a mate out.
Right.
Again, it's a long story, but I thought, oh my God, have they just fucking done me by put me in a loony asylum?
Oh.
Yeah, 3 weeks I was in there. Okay, I guess that could have been the worst of it. Yeah, fucking hell.
So leading up to coming over to Wandsworth, or going over to Wandsworth, how did that come about? Did you know that your sentence would have been? Because I thought you would have just done your sentence there, been released, and then sent straight back.
No,
or was the British Embassy involved in all that?
The embassy are brilliant. They come and see every 3 months. I say brilliant. There's not that much, but they can do. But they're really was there helpful as they could be.
Was their plan to get you back to the UK?
Yeah. You can not do it if you want, but you got to sign for it. When they come to see me, they said, I have some good, like very British. You have good news and bad news, Stephen. You have the most expensive flight that there's ever been from the British government. It was £2,000. Would you like to sign it or not? The good news is you're going home. I went, give us that pen. Honestly, it'd have been 10 million. I'd have fucking signed for it. It'd end up being 800 quid that I paid for. Because believe it or not,
did you have to pay for it?
Yeah, before you got your passport back.
Right.
When I eventually got freed, I had to pay the 800. I thought I got away with it at one point, but I didn't. But I was quite chuffed because I knew I signed for £2,000. The fucking
that should have been business class.
The volcano in Iceland. Do you remember that? And they stopped all the flights.
Oh, right.
That fucked my flight up. I don't fully know till after, so because they don't tell you when it be. It's all like top secret. But yeah, so that changed that flight. So the flight I eventually get in must have cost £800, even though I didn't hear about it. But when I've gone to pay for the £2,000, it said it was only 800, and I wasn't saying anything.
Nice one.
He's 800 quid.
So tell us about the procedure then. Did the police come to get you? The UK police?
Yes, 2 screws come to pick me.
Screws.
Yeah.
Did they cuff you going onto the plane?
No. So I was sent back into the loony asylum for 5 days, which was a bit of an end fuck, but I knew 100% I was flying on that day. The Yakuza bosses there had already told me, said, don't say anything, but you're flying on Thursday. Blah, 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 right. So I knew they were trying to give me one last final oof in the bollocks.
Put
me back in the Hogobo, it's called, this fucking area. Anyway, I was fine by it. You know, like in them 5 days, I was pressed up and I was shadow boxing. They're all saying, damn it. I was like, going, fuck you. So I'm off on Thursday in Japanese. They're going, oh, damn it. I went, fuck you. Trust me, I had enough at that point. I knew it was going. I knew the 2 screws officers were coming, and I thought, that's me. I'm off. And so, yeah, eventually we got to the airport. There's like a changeover. It's like a standoff underneath, you know, like no man's land. So there's a...
Was it a direct flight?
Direct flight, yeah, to London. So two Wandsworth screws. So now they said to me after, they've seen a picture of me before, and then they're picking me up. So I've gone from like, whatever, 14 and a half stone to 11 and a half stone.
Right, fucking hell.
It's a big fucking drop,
It is,
innit? They had to change the belt, and, you know, like, you know, I knew I was fit. I really was fit. But like my best mate came to see me in Wandsworth. He said I looked like I was on fucking heroin. And but anyway, so they picked me up, and so you got the 2 Tantos, the Japanese guards, the 2 English guards. You got the British Embassy, then the Japanese Embassy, and they're doing this handover kind of thing.
Signing you over.
Yeah, but the English guard, he was quite fucking moving actually. He straight away went, hey mate, we've got you now. These fuckers ain't can't do fuck all. I was like, nice one, mate, yeah. And the way he went, he said something to him. I said, to be honest, I said, these are really sound. I said, this guy, they just took me to Starbucks, got me a coffee. I hadn't had a milky coffee like for 2 years. And one of them helped me get out of Hogobo, the mental asylum, because he didn't know what was going on. And I knew it was that same guy. So I kind of said, mate, I don't know. Honestly, these aren't. He said, no worries. But I liked the way they were really comforting.
The way they approach your eye.
Yeah, it was super.
Probably saying I'd best be good with them. We've got a fucking long flight back to London.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, because we had a little chat and he said, listen, all the air hostesses, they all know what's going on. He said, so I'm dressed in civilian, they're civilian, you're not cuffed. We get on first, you go to the back of the plane. And they says, you cause any drama. The littlest, says, we've never had to do it. But obviously you can't drink, but just act normal, enjoy the flight. And when we got, everybody gets off, and then the screw van's there, and you went in.
Straight in on.
Yeah. So it was all quite relaxing and normal. It was fine. And so when he explained to me, like, keep your head down, you get your cat day, I was like, right, okay. So I've got, a long flight to think about this, I think.
How long did you have to do with them?
What, in?
Like, left on your sentence to complete?
Was it 1 year and 7 months?
Is that what you've done in the UK?
Yeah, but so, when I've landed in Wandsworth, I'm getting this, I've got a bit, I'll be good attitude. Do you know, you go into like a holding cell. I was the first in this holding cell.
In the reception area.
Reception area, yeah. And so you got to remember, I have no idea what's going on. I'm just fucking buzzing to be in England. I'm sat in this holding cell, and I feel like free as a bird, even though it's like, there was like a Russian or Polish guy, he's coming after me. Off his fucking tits, I think. Spat on the floor, he's come straight at me. I'm sat there, he spat and come straight at me, I just went, fuck off. And he kind of turned around, and I thought, fucking hell. So
welcome to Wandsworth.
So much for it's not going to kick off. Literally the first person that's in. He got the art going. But yeah, I managed to do it. Like, even like the craziness of Wandsworth, I kind of liked it. It was like that was like an asylum. People were all coming off drugs, banging things.
Oh, it's fucking crazy under them prisons.
But I'm watching the TV, having jam butchers, having bruises and doing all these. The cell felt massive, compared to Japan. It just and it was summertime then, and we were plenty of time on the yard, having races. We hadn't. No, looking back, that is horrible as well.
Oh.
But it took a good few weeks for me to think, get me the fuck out.
To get adjusted, and
you couldn't go to the gym, you couldn't do anything. It was a lot of lockdown.
The first couple of weeks when you go into a prison, obviously, like in the UK and that, you're waiting to get processed and do your induction and everything. It's a fucking.
I was lost for 5 weeks as well. I had about 300 quid. That money got lost in Wandsworth. I actually ended up getting it back. That's another long story. But I presume somebody from Wandsworth at the time had nicked it, but it weren't a biggie. But yeah, I kept on asking them after a week or so. If you're polite and nice, you get fucking nowhere, as you know. And so, you know, in the end of it, I was saying, am I not supposed to be moving? And then it was actually it was called Mr. Winnipeg, one of the guys that picked me up from the flight. He looked into it and says, I think you've been lost in the system, mate.
Oh, fucking hell.
I've been there 5 weeks. So I end up in the Mount. I end up actually working on the block in the Mount.
Where's that one at again? Which
It's Herefordshire, somewhere
Right.
like north, not that far. I went from the Mount to Risley.
is that a Cat C, the Mount? I think it is it?
I'm not sure. I think they've got a lifers there, but you can cook in it and that, and you can. It's quite. It feels quite open. Way more open than that Risley. So I think I was 7 months in Risley. Have you been there?
I've not been there, but I've heard it's a bit of a shithole in it.
I don't think it was that bad, to be honest. It's like anything. If you get a couple of good mates, like my next door neighbour was Sam, but here's one for you, which was fucking horrible. So he was the end of an IPP sentence,
Right.
And but he was a teacher's helper in the art class in the day and the evening. I'm trying to get in the art class all the way through this. And people have said, whatever you do, don't start one of these shitty jobs because you won't get in. That's what they said in the Mount. That's why I ended up being the helper in the block down there. I thought, I'm going to have to do that.
Like block orderly.
Yeah, block orderly, yeah. Piece of piss. It was good, actually.
Oh.
But anyway, when I got to Risley, my mate Alan says, I can get, when I leave now, because I'm going to do courses for the IPP, I can get you on as the teacher's helper. It's one of the best. But the thing is, you've got to teach their nonces, not teach them.
Oh,
you've got to go in the nonce class. I already knew he'd done it. I'd asked him about it. I said, how the fuck? But I said, what's it like being in the... And he always says, it's actually quite easy. So they just crack on. You don't bother with them at all. And they just do their thing and then they fuck off. He said, in the evening, he says, you're dealing with all kids and lunatics. He said, that's fucking drama. Anyway, I said, I'm not doing the fucking nonce class. He said, you either do that or you don't do it. All right. So I did it in the end. What a fucking feeling that is. Going into I mean, they try to justify it. They said they're not really bad. They're not like murderers. They're not all this stuff. But you know that they are what they are, aren't you? And that, obviously, you're not used to fucking being with people that you know that it was a weird. When I look back at it, I think, you know, should I have done it? Would I? I felt like.
So what was it you had to do? Obviously, just help the teacher, and obviously you didn't have no interaction with them.
No interaction at all. You basically, that's your official job. So when they all fuck off, you make sure your things are put away.
Oh, everything's clean and that.
They're all like I tell you what was bad and all. So when I first got there, mainly in, I'd say Risley, I noticed it. So I'm like 41 by then. Clearly never been in prison before. What do people think I'm in for? A fucking nonce, don't they?
Oh, fuck you, no.
Yeah, it's and I get it. I totally get it. Because if you see somebody that's never been in prison before in the 40s, 50s, they generally are fucking, aren't they? But I had my papers to show that was what I was in for. But the trouble with my papers was, when I got arrested as a private investigator, instead of putting that, they put detective.
Oh, fuck you,
So,
no.
I can prove I'm a smuggler, but I can also make you think I'm a fucking copper, which is kind of comical. I mean, I had a few incidents when you go, you're fucking nonce, you know, like that. I'll tell you what, man, so come see my papers in the cell. And I says, then we'll have fucking words and all. I think once we talked about, when I told them I was been to Japan and I explained it, they kind of knew that. But I totally get out why people would think you are a fucking nonce. Because I mean, there was other people on the wing, and you think, is he fucking wrong, man? You know, you get to it, you just...
But people do presume that sometimes when obviously you see someone they've never been in before, they've got no...
There was one poor lad, like a similar thing. He was a bit, not fucking simple, but I think he was in for lighting fires and shit. And I hear people saying, he's a fucking nonce, you know. I said, he's not, you know. I said, I've seen his paper, because you were a quite intelligent guy. You know, a bit eccentric. I said they were fucking bullying him. So I said, leave him alone. He's just a bit fucking because he's different. I said, I'm looking at his papers now. Some people won't have him now. He's a fucking. I said, he's not a fucking nonce. He's just a bit fucking special. Not special, but you know what I mean. Like just different.
Yeah.
Quirky.
So did you have any fights when you were in the UK system? No.
Not fucking one. Honestly, it was a miracle. You know, I do like a bit of a fucking row, but to go through 3 years, 7 months was pretty much a fucking.
Oh, we've done all right then.
Yeah. I think it got easier the more very close in Risley. Somebody nicked my watch, blah blah blah, and then eventually that fucker came to Kirkham. And he come in our little causal wing that we had. And so I said, you said, get the fuck off this wing, you cunt. So he nicked me watch. Anyway, that was one of them. That was probably.
Did you do a quick U-turn then?
Yeah, that was close as I probably came to kicking off. I know, because I was in the open prison. But the thing is, he haven't got screws around. He hasn't got. Anyway, I felt like that was the closest it got.
So your time in the category D, then the open prisons?
Well, I ended up being the prison artist. I was in my own cell all day, just painting oil paintings for the prison. It's fucking great, yeah.
Did you ever have the lads asking you to? Because I know when I was inside, people would come up and say, like, "Can you do us a picture of a portrait?"
I was doing portraits all the way through it. Do you know what? That's like having a golden ticket if you're good at drawing.
Well, there was a lad on the wing when I was in Franklin prison.
Yeah.
He was because I was in the York class as well. I was doing portraits, but his were fucking like 5-star fucking classy. Yeah. And he was, I think, was charging £40 a portrait for the fucking oil paintings, and he had like a 10-week waiting
list. Oil painting?
Oil paintings.
Yeah.
I had like a 10-week waiting list.
They used to call me, or I think I called it myself, the Kenko Kid. I used to 2 packets of Kenko for a drawing. But I stopped doing it in the end because you were getting. People weren't paying. In the end, like in Risley, I said, I'm not doing it anymore because it's not worth the drama because it pisses me off. Nearly kicked off. In this one yardie, can you do a drawing? I said, I'm not doing it anymore because it pissed me because he's not paying me, he's not paying. So I'm just not doing it for nobody anymore. It says, I think that's the first time we heard the word, I'm a big man. He said, do you want to call I'm a big man? I said, no, I'm a bad man.
Bad man.
Or I'm not a bad. I forget what it was. I remember thinking, what the fuck are you on about? I said, listen, mate. I said, it's not happening. I said, I'm not doing it for you, for nobody. I'm just, and he was taken back about it, but I wouldn't like.
Wouldn't back down.
I wouldn't back down. I says, no offense to you. It's nothing personal to you, but it's not happening. He's like, where that could have. I think because we were in the cell together, if there were other people about, he's kind of losing face, isn't he? Because it didn't apply way to him. It was like kind of like. But I remember thinking that could have been close.
It's all about how you conduct yourself, how you come across it. Right?
It was an art form. How to do it without. Early on in Risley, I walked up. There was some big scouser. He said, "So much a bird." He's put his hand across the thing. I was at the top. He's hey, so much a pain. You're on my. I said, get out of the fucking way, dickhead. Just laughed it off. Went, get out of the fuck. I think I grabbed off. Went, get out of the way, dickhead. And we just kind of laughed it off. But obviously he was serious, and I just turned it into a bit of a jokey thing. Yeah, it was a craft.
So coming up to your release, and what was it like then? And coming up to release when you knew you were getting released and going back home. Were you going back home to your family?
To my sisters.
Your sisters.
I think that's the good thing about the open prison system. You're gradually doing it over months and months. You've got time to do it. I didn't really feel that.
Because you've had them home leaves.
Yeah, I was a year doing the home leaves. I think you're there for so many weeks in Kirkham itself. So you're in open environment. The first few weeks I was working in the farm. And then I think on a Sunday they open it up and you can go like for a 1 or 2 hour walk in the fields, and there's like a pig farm.
Right.
And you're in that. That was like a feeling I'll never forget, in the sunshine. And you're like, oh my God, you're virtually free. that sense of freedom. And you know, you're a few weeks off, like, you know, going out with your friends, and I mean, is it 2 or 3 nights? I can't remember. I think it's 2 nights you first get. And obviously, I'm out with my mates, we're on the piss and having the crack and that.
So that would have felt like a release for you then, because
Yeah,
obviously
that was-
I've never been to Cat D, but
No,
I've been
that was the
released on
release,
3
yeah.
separate occasions, and it's always been from a closed prison.
Yeah, no.
And the feeling when the gate opens and you're walking out. it's
Yeah,
like
so
fucking-
no, it wasn't.
Aye.
It wasn't like that.
So they're aye.
The first experience was the home leaves. You know, going on. I can picture like going into me. I had to meet my mate down Whalley, and having that first pint. It was a nice summer's day. I had a pint of Stella, you know, with them round glasses like that. So it's been, you know, 3 years, 7 months at that point. I've sat outside in the sun. I was actually by myself waiting for him to come. I just stared at him. What's it going to be like this? And you know, I've treasured it. But
Savoured the taste.
yeah, but to be honest, it wasn't like something I really wanted. It weren't like
Right.
it was like at that moment I remember it, but it wasn't the be all and end all. I miss coffee more than anything.
Aye.
A good brew in the morning. Hoi chai we had, hot piss, I used to call it. I enjoy, so
was there any feelings when you knew you had to go back to the prison after the 2 nights out? Did you
No,
feel a bit?
no, I was
you,
fine.
You were fine, aye.
I was fine. It didn't bother me.
You knew you were coming to the end, didn't you? So you
Yeah,
was,
I knew it was coming to the end. I could, believe it or not, I could live in Kirkham now. I am my own little pad doing all my artwork. There's a gym there, the squash court, the bowling green, putting green, and we had a right
Your meals made for you.
and really good food. I had a mate that worked in the Screws canteen, so we were getting all their stuff.
Oh,
It was good banter. You know, a lot of the billets there, people kind of keep to their own. We were kind of older, more sensible,
Yeah.
but same time not that fucking sensible.
Like have a good laugh.
We were playing poker and having the crack.
The thing
No.
about prison, though, you do have a good laugh, don't you?
Yeah, you know, we all weren't all angels, far from it, but we're all people that had kind of been there, done it, and you didn't want to get
More relaxed.
You can hear other billets and the younger lads, they're getting off their heads and
Tunes
partying
blasting,
every night. Yeah, but they're getting sent out every other day. You know, it seems silly to me, but that's youth and experience, I guess.
So was that the end of the prison then? Was that
Was the end for
days
me,
done?
yeah. Lesson learned, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully, mate, yeah.
So where did you go back to from there? And was it Blackburn or
Well, Whalley.
Whalley?
I was living in Whalley. I'm from Whalley, Clitheroe area. Yeah, same.
What age were you at this point?
What am I? 44 by the time I'm released, I think. Well, I turned 40 December the 5th in Narita. My best mate was until I didn't turn up for my 40th birthday. He thought it was a wind up all the way through. When I didn't turn up, he knew it was real. He knew it wasn't a joke.
Oh, fucking hell. I bet.
Yeah.
So going back to Whalley, then what was life like getting back to normal civilian life?
It was all right, really. It was pretty fine.
Did you get back to work and stuff, or did you?
Yeah, I just did artwork at first. I was just doing painting artwork. But I was living by the canal where we lived, and a friend of mine, another bricklayer, he said, "Do you want to get back on the trowel on the site with us?" I said, "I'm an artist now," but I felt a little bit cooped up in. It felt like a prison where I just lived in a terraced house,
Right.
and then I felt I needed to get back into the real world. So I love doing artwork and stuff, but it is a little bit confined, and you can't be going out on the site with the lads and having the crack. It's what I've done since I was a kid. I've just been doing it. I've been back home laying bricks throughout the summer. It's good money. The banter's good, and it's like, well, I'm going to go back doing artwork at the moment and playing a bit of poker in Cambodia.
So where are you actually living at the moment? I know you're in Cambodia.
Cambodia.
And do you go back to the UK, or are you here permanent?
So I just in England. I was back in Cambodia for a year or so before. I just went back in England for the summer, back on the trowel, getting some coin. And now I'm going to go back and, like it's the rainy season's over. I'm going to get back into my artwork and do some like more oil painting.
And do you sell those?
Yeah. And I do tattooing as well. I've got my mate's got a tattoo shop out there, so I'm going to be doing a bit of that and do a bit of artwork here, there, and there. But I play a lot. I've played poker since 2014 in Cambodia. Well, since I came back out.
Is that when you first came back over? Did you come back to Thailand then, or did you just go to?
No,
Cambodia?
back to. I never felt I was fully free till I got back into Bangkok after like 5 years, 100 days. I booked the flight 1 day before the sentence was over. I was like, I kind of accidentally did it. I'd say it was like the 5th of April. I booked it was the 4th. And I remember thinking, oh my fucking God, it's 1 day.
1 day left.
But I thought, what if I get to the airport and the passport goes and anyway, it didn't happen. But I just thought, fucking hell, I'm still a fucking bellend. After all these years, for the sake of 1 day, I could have absolutely fucked it up.
So did it feel like you were wanting to come back here because obviously
I knew
it's a different way of
the
life,
whole thing wasn't over until I got back here, and it never fully felt it was over till I got back here. It's how I guess I don't know if I'm always going to come here or whatever, but I just feel way more at home here.
It's a different way of life and it's more peaceful.
It's completely different, and
just chill.
We all know how fucked up the UK is now at the moment, and it's just gone down. This last year, when I've gone back, I have never known it so dark and down and everybody against each other.
It's horrible, isn't it?
And whatever's going on, these forces from here, there and everywhere, it's fucking horrendous to see. You know the obvious things with the prices, but just the whole atmosphere of
the whole system's fucked. The prison system, the tax system, everything. It's just designed to fuck you and put you at rock bottom.
And when I come back out here, all that has gone. I've been back the last 2 weeks now. It's almost like a thing that doesn't exist. I'm very close to completely coming offline of everything because now I've done this and I've done a bit of promo and whatever. I feel like I'm ready to switch off because I feel I think YouTube is the only place now where you can still have a bit of a say and be genuine. But like Facebook or all these other things, I've never done TikTok, but I've seen what I've seen of it. Don't get me started. But this phone addiction, everybody addicted to the phones, it's really negative and down and down and down.
All people want to do is sit on that fucking phone.
The fucking zombie machine. So the sooner the better I can get away from all that, the better. We're just living.
Like you said, there's a lot of negative shit, isn't there?
Honestly, I could rant on that for years.
So is there anything more you would like to add, Steve?
Nah, I think we'll, but yeah, there's a lot in the book. If people want to know more, if you don't, I honestly don't give a flying fuck. I make 50p a copy, so it's not like, but it was good, it was fun, it was good, but been there, done it. I'm ready for like the next stage in my life and moving on.
To relax and chill out.
Yeah, all right then, man.
You were saying just before we finish about the Mike Bisping.
Well, yes, I did 3 years, 7 months with no violence whatsoever. When we were writing the book, when I finished that, we were contemplating about, do we put the thing in with Mick Bisping? But do we use it as an example of how I do have a quite fucking violent past? So to show how hard it was to restrain myself for that long. So we wrote about the first incident. It's not in the book, by the way. We didn't put it in there.
Oh, you didn't bother putting it.
But we wrote about it, so it was an option.
Right.
Because it's a name drop and it's a thing that could get... Do you know how the fucking game works, don't it? So I wrote it, and then the first incident. When I wrote it that week, down Whalley, where we live, we went out for a meal. Fucking Bisping's in their little restaurant. We had a little chat about it, the first incident. Kicked off again. So, then the two kickoffs. So I've got a little YouTube channel, The Steve and Woz Show. I've gone through the whole thing in exactly what happened. But cut it short, I knocked him out with a beer crate the first time. I had shit over it the second time. He's come at me and I fucking bopped him again. Made him look a right cunt. It is because he can be a very bullying fucker. He's well known round our way. But anyway, he tried it and he got punched on the fucking nose again. And absolutely, nobody's going to believe this or that. If anybody's got a problem with what I'm saying, go into any Clitheroe or Whalley group from where we all live, ask them. Don't listen to me talking shit. Don't ask fucking him because he'll ignore it because he's done his best because it's made him look an absolute fucking cunt, and don't get me wrong as well, I think it's brilliant what he's done. A local lad to achieve what he's done.
Oh, he's done well, hasn't he?
Oh, he's done fucking amazing. And when I met him, it was only, not this summer, the summer before, when the second time up, that's how I started. And I tried to explain what I was doing in the book and and he just went fucking nuts. He honestly can be a right fucking bellend and he's well known for it. I think he's hold his hand up for being like that as well. But anyway, the both occasions I met him, because we have a lot of the same mates as well.
Oh well.
Yeah, but I live and learn.
But Steve, it's been a pleasure, mate. Really enjoyed it. Nice one. Thank you very much.
Bro,